Welcome to the very best test-taking strategies for multiple choice exams, Part 1. There are strategies that, when applied correctly, can help you get a better grade on multiple choice tests, even if you don't know the material as well as some of the other students. When you take an exam, you're really being tested on two things. Number one, how well you know the material. That's obvious. Number two is how well you take tests. In a perfect world, it would be great if every student actually cared about the subjects that they were being tested on. However, none of us live in that world. Often, there are classes you're required to take whether or not you actually care about them. I'm not here to debate that. My goal is to show you simple, proven strategies that'll help you to get the highest grades possible on multiple choice tests. Because I have a lot of ground to cover, this is part 1 of a 2-part series. Be sure you also watch part 2 in order to get the full benefit. Also, be warned in advance, none of the strategies you're going to get are all that big of a deal by themselves. In fact, you may think of some of them as simply common sense, but don't skip any of them. You see, when you combine the strategies together, you can become a test-taking machine. Others will envy you because you don't seem to work that hard, but you still get top marks. If you haven't done so yet, I hope you subscribe with notifications enabled with that little bell icon so you'll always know when I release a new video. Post your comments and questions because I pay attention to them. And so does YouTube. Okay, let's get started. Tip number 1, arrive at the test site early. The single biggest reason students get bad grades on tests has more to do with stress than anything else. Even students who know the answers will find their minds get blocked when they're feeling too much stress. The last thing you want is to be freaking out because you're hoping to get to the test on time. Get there with plenty of time to spare so you can relax a little bit. Number 2, know how the test will be scored. They're not all graded the same way. Do you get penalized more for a wrong answer compared to an answer you leave blank? Maybe. Or is it the other way around and you're penalized more for blank answers than wrong ones? Don't just assume they're graded the same way. In other words, it's good to know whether guessing should be part of your strategy or not. If blank answers don't count as much against your grade, then do not guess. If you're graded the same for a blank answer as a wrong one, then you absolutely want to guess. If there are 5 possible answers, you have a 20% chance of getting it right, even if you have no idea about the real answer. And 20% is better than 0%. Number 3, read the directions carefully. I know that sounds like it should be obvious, but there are tons of students who simply assume they know what the directions are. For example, the directions might say something like, select the most correct answer, or select the answer that comes closest. Whenever you see something like that, you're being told that there may be more than one right answer, or shades of right or wrong within the answers. While that may not happen in science or math tests, it could happen in comparative literature or psychology or sociology or other subjects like that. Number 4, whenever possible, read the entire test before answering any questions. Of course, you want to do it fast and not waste any time. There are several benefits. First, it prepares your subconscious mind to begin searching for the answers ahead of time. Next, sometimes you'll get answer clues for early questions that are covered in later questions. Also, if you're well prepared, it will give you a better feeling of confidence because you'll know what the whole test is about. Lastly, it helps you budget your time so you don't waste any on questions that are too hard when there are easier ones to answer first. I know this may not work with some standardized computer-delivered exams, but remember, if it's possible, read the entire test before answering any questions and do it as quickly as you can. Number 5, read the question carefully. Oof, this is a big one. most mistakes are made because you didn't clearly define what you were being asked. Don't jump to conclusions. Read the entire question. Target important keywords or phrases. Be sure you are answering what is being asked. Number 6, work fast and do the easy ones first. Time management is a big part of being successful when taking tests. You want to work as quickly as you can. Studies prove that those students who work quickly significantly outperform those who are overly cautious. Whenever possible, answer the easiest ones first. This not only helps increase your confidence, it also leaves you more time to work on the harder ones. Number 7, before you mark your answer, guess. That's right. After you read the question and before you read the answers provided, guess the answer. Then look to see if your guess is listed there and quickly move on. If not, then read the question again. You may have missed something. Number 8, watch out for weasel words. That's what I call words like always, never, none, not, all. Pretty common. Be careful you don't misread any sentence that includes them. Others that are even sneakier, almost, tend to be, rarely, seldom, sometimes. Read carefully. Don't skip over words like that. They're put in there to be deliberately tricky. Think about it. It's hard to make up a good multiple choice test. After all, they're already giving you the answers. Many instructors will do everything they can to make the test harder. Okay, we've covered a lot here in part 1. Go back and review these 8 strategies, then please go on to part 2.